But look, what did it take for us to get to the point of an apology? We had to threaten a lawsuit, Jesse. And by the way, we're still entertaining it. We're talking to some of the best lawyers out there that are experts in this. And as you know, these things can be very complicated. There's a lot of facts and circumstances around it. But we're not going to let this go, because you should not be able to smear 5,000 high school and college kids and then just be able to walk away with it. And the reason they felt they needed to do that, Jesse, is because if they told their audience the truth.
When Charlie Kirk launches a $100 million lawsuit at The View, the fallout isn't quiet. It's an eruption. Sunny Hostin combusts on live TV, composure shattering like brittle porcelain under the glare of studio lights. What follows isn't civil discourse. It's midday melodrama colliding with courtroom chaos, with a dose of unintentional comedy. Picture subpoenas clashing with soap opera, Sunny unraveling in slow motion, while producers scramble to contain a rapidly spiraling on-air implosion. Whoopi Goldberg throws dagger-like stares sharp enough to slice through steel. The tension is so thick it might as well be a character itself. Meanwhile, offstage, Charlie Kirk casts himself as a silence hero, cloaked in a martyr complex, claiming to be the victim in a war of words. He's not just filing a lawsuit, he's crafting an operatic tale of oppression with himself in the starring role. At home, viewers are glued to their screens, trying to figure out who's lawyering up, who's melting down, and who still holds a microphone. And the twist? It's not the lawyers who crack under pressure. It's everyone else. The drama is Olympic level, the spectacle unmistakably and chaotically prime time.
Charlie Kirk's the founder and CEO of Turning Point USA and the author of the new book, The College Scam. So, Charlie, do you accept The View's apology?
I mean, regardless of whether or not I accept it, the question is, do our students accept it? That's really what's at heart here. They went after our 5,000 students at our event there of high school and college kids. And look, I get attacked all the time. People say false things. I'm a public figure. But when you go after 16 and 17-year-olds that travel from across the country that then have to live for the rest of their life with a shadow over them because someone at ABC says that they might be linked to neo.
A $100 million lawsuit isn't just a legal battle. It's a cinematic flex, a thunderclap of ego so loud it echoes like a Bond villain's master plan. Picture it. Charlie perched atop a volcano lair, MAGA parrot squawking, a roller coaster spelling his Twitter handle, and a gold leaf jet ready for escape. This isn't litigation. It's a cultural detonation, an ego-fueled fireworks show visible from space. At the heart of it, The View, America's favorite daytime shouting match, disguised as civilized debate. Gone are the days of thoughtful discussion. Now, it's a high-octane drama machine where volume trumps facts and nuance is obliterated by emotional meltdowns. Every topic gets weaponized into gossip. Political discourse reduced to side eyes and moral grandstanding. Civility? Long gone. This lawsuit isn't just about damages. It's a full-throttle spectacle, a middle finger to the circus The View has become. When numbers hit this absurd, it's no longer about justice. It's about making noise, shaking the table, and ensuring everyone hears the explosion. Whether it's justified or just a power play, one thing's certain. The fallout will be juicy. Ground zero? A courtroom. The prize? $100 million. The real winner? The audience, front row to the chaos. Buckle up, it's about to get loud.
Her disgusting, gross elitism and her complete out-of-touch nature with respect to the rest of the world. Sunny Hostin goes on The View and decides now would be a great time to dump all over the so-called uneducated.
What we did not have is white women who voted about 52%, right, for Donald Trump. Uneducated white women, is my understanding. You have Latino men, actually, voting more for him. And you have, and black men was not the story. We're not the story here because they voted almost 80% for the vice.
Imagine a table of self-anointed pundits trading eye rolls like arguments, where smug smirks and performative gasps pass for debate. For years, The View has peddled outrage as insight, turning discourse into a meme-worthy melodrama, exhausting, predictable, and utterly unchecked. Then came Charlie Kirk. He didn't just rant into a podcast mic from the sidelines. He walked straight into the spotlight, called out the charade, and dropped a $100 million lawsuit like a grenade in the middle of their scripted chaos. But this isn't just about money. It's a warning flare, a deafening enough already aimed at a show that long ago swapped substance for snark. Kirk isn't just suing The View. He's exposing the whole rotten spectacle. The overconfident talking heads, the manufactured outrage, the applause lines disguised as wisdom. This lawsuit is a line in the sand. a challenge to the toxic formula of theatrics over truth. Kirk didn't just break the fourth wall. He yanked the mic from their hands and told the whole circus to sit down. The message? The era of unchecked grandstanding is over. Whether this lands in court or court public opinion, one thing's clear. The days of lazy, loudmouth theatrics might finally have a reckoning. Game on.
Yes.
Listen, just because you didn't go to college doesn't mean you're stupid, and it doesn't mean that you don't have wisdom. I always differentiate between knowledge and wisdom. You can go to college and get a bunch of irrelevant facts about how men can allegedly give birth or whatever they teach. I mean, it's or about North African lesbian poetry. Okay, that's fine, I guess.
Awesome.
But I said this to our team. I said working people, the muscular class, including working women in the sense of, waitresses and women that work for Amazon. And there's a lot of women delivery drivers. They are so in favor of Trump, and they don't want to be called stupid or uneducated.
This isn't just a lawsuit. It's a Molotov cocktail thrown at daytime TV circus tent. The View long ago abandoned debate for drama, where raised voices pass as wisdom and scripted gas substitute for actual thought. That $100 million price tag? Not a vanity figure, but siren blaring and an industry addicted to volume over substance. Charlie Kirk isn't playing for settlements. He's gutting the outrage economy, the ecosystem where hot takes masquerade as journalism and facts kneel to theatrics. Sure, the sum seems outrageous, but so is a show that peddles half-truths between makeup, touch-ups, and applause breaks. This is about forcing a reset. You don't get to monetize madness and call it discourse. At the center sits Sunny Hostin, once a razor-sharp attorney, now a courtroom cosplayer. Her legal analysis, once precise, now bends to viral moments. Her expertise diluted into click-ready sound bites. A law degree reduced to prop, wielded for gotcha theatrics, not truth. Kirk's lawsuit isn't just targeting The View. It's a referendum on the entire charade. The clashing egos, the reheated takes, the self-righteousness served like clockwork. It's a demand. Either elevate the conversation or watch the audience walk. Because when shouting becomes strategy, someone eventually mutes the mic. Game over? Not yet, but the curtain's trembling.
This Turning Point conference, their Nazis were in the front of out there in front of the conference with anti-Semitic slurs, and the swastika.
I think it's important that every single person that attended that Turning Point, every Republican speak up against these, because against the flags that were waved.
But you let them in.
President, open your
You let them in and you knew what they were.
Right.
So you are complicit.
The irony is almost poetic. Sunny Hostin, who once played TV lawyer for applause, now finds herself waist-deep in an actual legal battle, one that demands more than a sassy clapback and a well-timed eye roll. This isn't about silencing strong women, as the show's defenders will inevitably cry. It's about accountability, the kind that doesn't disappear when the studio lights dim. Daytime TV loves hiding behind free speech when convenient, but defamation dressed up as bold commentary doesn't get hauled past just because it's delivered with a smile and a Starbucks cup. The courtroom doesn't care about ratings or viral moments. It cares about facts. And for once, The View can't shout its way out of the mess. This lawsuit isn't a stunt. It's a reckoning. A demand for receipts from a show that spent years peddling elite groupthink as fearless debate, where dissent gets drowned out by performative outrage and hollow moralizing. They call it empowerment. Really, it's just an echo chamber with better lighting. Kirk didn't just file paperwork. He flipped the script. For the first time in decades, someone said, enough. The show's unchecked arrogance finally hit a wall. And now, the cameras are rolling, but the rules have changed.
Now we begin with a shocking apology just a short time ago from the ladies of The View to Turning Point USA. A war of words broke out after the conservative group was rallying the next generation of voters at its youth summit in Tampa, Florida this weekend. And the liberal panel just couldn't help themselves. The group sent a scathing cease and desist letter after hosts on The View suggested that Turning Point had embraced neo-Nazis who showed up outside the event.
For years, The View operated like an untouchable circus, tossing out viral insults, smearing reputations, and treating truth as optional, all while hiding behind the applause of their studio audience. But Charlie Kirk just changed the game. His $100 million lawsuit isn't just a legal filing. It's a long overdue reality check for a show that spent decades mistaking snark for substance and outrage for insight. This isn't about censorship. It's about accountability, something The View has avoided while dishing out drive-by character assassinations between coffee sips and commercial breaks. The hosts love playing pundit when the cameras roll, but now, for the first time, they're being forced to answer for their words outside the safety of their soundstage. No more hiding behind bold commentary as a free pass for defamation. No more treating facts as flexible when a hot take gets better ratings. Kirk's lawsuit pulls a plug on the show's greatest illusion, that their words don't have real-world consequences. And let's be clear, this isn't some David versus Goliath media battle. It's a reckoning for an industry that's grown too comfortable weaponizing opinions while dodging responsibility. Sunny Hostin and crew may excel at dramatic gasps and eye rolls, but subpoenas don't care about TV theatrics. The law doesn't bend for viral moments. Kirk's move is simple but seismic. If you're going to play judge, jury, and executioner on national television, you don't get to act shocked when someone finally holds you to the same standards. The days of reckless commentary, without repercussions, are over. So the next time The View's theme music kicks in, don't expect business as usual. The golden age of consequence-free smack talk just got its eviction notice. And the audience, they're not just watching anymore, they're taking notes.
Let me kind of humble the audience a little bit. Donald Trump won by less than a point in Wisconsin, about 28,000 votes. He won by a point-ish, 1.2 in Michigan. And then he won by 1 point in Pennsylvania. And so, Megyn, it is conceivable that without this record movement of youth vote, he doesn't win.
Let's call it what it is. Not a meltdown, but a surgical strike. Charlie Kirk isn't spiraling. He's executing. And the target? A daytime talk show built on sharp tongues, smug certainty, and public takedowns. The View, long celebrated for its bold commentary, has thrived by shredding anyone who dares to challenge its narrative. But now, it's being dragged from its echo chamber into a space with no editing, no clapping audience, and no applause breaks. Just cold, hard facts laid bare before a judge. This isn't cancel culture. This is consequence culture, and it just walked through the courtroom doors wearing a suit and holding a stack of legal filings. It's the moment when the loudest voices on TV are being told to turn the volume down. And the irony? Perfect. The self-proclaimed shrine to free speech is now being forced to explain how that same speech justifies on-air character assassinations, broadcast live to millions. Freedom of expression never meant freedom from accountability. And Sunny Hostin, a lawyer herself, may want to revisit that legal training, because this isn't about ego, it's about evidence. Timestamps, documentation, precision. Behind the scenes at ABC, legal teams are reportedly combing through transcripts like archaeologists, hunting for the moment everything blew up. Suddenly, every quip, every dig, every hot take is under forensic scrutiny. And producers? They're asking tough questions now. Can we still be bold without inviting a subpoena? That Velvet Lounge vibe on set has been replaced by a slow, dawning realization. The courtroom doesn't offer commercial breaks or laugh tracks. There's no validation from a studio audience when you're answering questions under oath. Let's talk content. The View hasn't been a sanctuary of civil dialogue in years. It's become a carousel of dramatized moral superiority. The topic barely matters. What matters is whether it can fuel enough side eyes and viral outrage to trend on Twitter. From faux fury over coffee orders to debates about scarves, it's all scripted for maximum noise. Every opinion is packaged with condescension, delivered with the kind of smug certainty that's more performance than principle. And that performance is carefully orchestrated. Gasps, claps, nods, all choreographed cues for viewers to react on time. It's less talk show and more outrage theater, with each episode engineered to manufacture the next 15-second social media clip masquerading as righteous commentary. But this time, they're not facing a hashtag campaign. They're facing a legal countdown. That blinking red camera has been replaced by sterile courtroom lighting, and those fiery on-air monologues, they sound a lot less compelling when there's a judge instead of a cheering section. For years, The View played judge, jury, and moral gatekeeper. Then someone walked in with real legal documents and said, "Let's put that confidence on the stand." Just like that, the volume dropped, the outrage softened, and suddenly, those bold opinions faded into selective amnesia. The personal digs, the reckless claims gone. Forgotten, at least, until they're replayed in court. Because these daytime hosts weren't just commenting, they were wielding reputational damage like a performance prop, slinging accusations between product endorsements like it was all part of the show. Messy, loud, and often devoid of facts. But Charlie Kirk didn't show up to play. He didn't show up with a mic. He showed up with subpoenas. This isn't revenge. It's strategy, precision. This is what happens when someone stops arguing on their terms and starts litigating on the record. Charlie didn't just clap back. He filed back.
Think if a liberal came to speak at University of Kentucky, they'd give an open mic like I just did to a conservative and had a discussion like this.
I certainly hope they would.
No, they wouldn't. Because speech is not a left-wing value. That is why they have to deploy shock troops called Antifa to go after everywhere I go. When I go to University of California, Davis next week, there has to be 120 police officers because of the threats, the violent threats of liberals that want me dead, that want to disrupt our events. There are no right-wing hecklers that come to events.
This isn't petty revenge. It's a surgical dismantling of daytime TV's most polished hypocrisy. Charlie Kirk's $100 million lawsuit against The View isn't about silencing critics. It's about exposing an entertainment empire that long ago abandoned journalism for performative takedowns dressed as discourse. For years, the show operated like an ideological thunderdome, all dramatic gasps and synchronized eye rolls, where complex issues were reduced to viral-ready sound bites. The formula was foolproof. Identify a target, amplify the most extreme interpretation, then watch the studio audience roar approval as hosts delivered rehearsed indignation between makeup touch-ups. But Kirk didn't take the bait. He bypassed the Twitter wars and went straight for the legal kill shot. That staggering $100 million figure isn't just about damages. It's a flashing neon sign illuminating the real cost of reputation destruction packaged as entertainment. The lawsuit forces an uncomfortable truth. Freedom of speech was never the show's problem. It's the freedom from consequences they've enjoyed for decades. Now, in a venue without laugh tracks or commercial breaks, the host's trademark tactics. Sunny Hostins, as a former prosecutor, posturing, Whoopi's just asking questions deflections, ring hollow under the cold fluorescence of a courtroom. Behind the scenes, the panic is palpable. ABC lawyers are combing through transcripts like bomb technicians, while producers whisper about risk assessment for future segments. The host's on-air bravado masks a sobering realization. Their words now carry tangible liability. This case transcends personal grievances. It's a referendum on an entire media model that rewards outrage over truth, where bold commentary often means unchecked smears. Kirk's legal offensive doesn't just challenge a view. It sends a warning to every show running the same cynical playbook. The courtroom doesn't care about ratings or viral moments. It demands evidence, accountability, and yes, consequences. However this case concludes, one thing certain. The era of consequence-free character assassination may finally be meeting its match.
I don't want to say too much, but we're going to have a lot of fun at the Department of Education. We're going to have a lot of fun.
Can I tell you something? Like, I've had quite a few people contact me about that particular post. Like, I'm sure I have 1/100th of what you're getting, but people are contacting me about cabinet posts. I'm like, I got
look,
nothing.
I mean, yeah, I'm actually, after this conversation, heading to Mar-a-Lago for a week. And we have a lot to sift through. And if I could be helpful, I have asked. I want to be actively involved in all things education, as you can imagine.
Let's hit pause and really absorb what's unfolding. Charlie Kirk, often written off as brash, loud, and polarizing, isn't backing down. He's charging headfirst at the most self-congratulatory stage in daytime television with $100 million legal swing. No dodging, no dancing, just a direct hit aimed squarely at The View, a show that's long since abandoned substance for spectacle. Let's be honest, The View hasn't been insightful in years. It's become a daily pageant of moral superiority wrapped in glam. Alternative opinions aren't debated. They're mocked, rolled over with sarcasm, drowned in canned applause, and punctuated by Sunny Hostin's courtroom cosplay that rarely rises above surface-level legal theatrics. It's not just slanted, it's engineered. A production of bias where any dissent is devoured before the next skincare segment airs. But this moment, it's different. This is another viral spat or clickbait feud designed for Twitter likes. It's a legal reality check, one the show never saw coming. There's no laugh track, no commercial break, no curated crowd reaction. Just consequences. Measurable, documentable, long overdue. Predictably, critics will scoff. It's a PR stunt, they'll say. It's all theater. Maybe, but if this is theater, then hand Charlie Kirk the Emmy. Because he's doing what The View hasn't managed in years, delivering real impact. This lawsuit isn't about ego. It's a megaphone blasting out a long overdue message. Enough. Enough with the character assassinations dressed up as commentary. Enough with the smirking sanctimony parading as dialogue. Defenders of the show will hide behind the usual shields. Satire, opinion, protected speech. But when a program repeatedly distorts a person's views, mocks their character, and paints them as a national threat, all before the first ad break, don't be shocked when First Amendment doesn't give you full immunity. That's not journalism. That's a reputation demolition derby in designer heels. Objectivity? That left the studio years ago. Now, for the first time in a long time, The View isn't just facing social media backlash. It's staring down real accountability. This lawsuit might not end the show, but it could force something far more important. Introspection. A mirror held up to a media machine running on snark, smugness, and a dangerous disregard for truth. Maybe now, someone behind the scenes will ask if it's wise to treat a person's name, reputation, and livelihood like just another segment between hot takes and product placements. Maybe this moment reminds the media that words carry weight, and sometimes that weight walks into a courtroom with receipts. Because audiences deserve more than a panel of overlapping voices pretending to be dialogue, more than pre-scripted outrage sold as meaningful debate. They deserve honesty, authenticity, maybe even a little humility. And The View, it hasn't delivered any of that in a long time. Now, thanks to Kirk, there's a crack in performance, a pause in the smug spectacle, and maybe, just maybe, a chance for responsibility to sneak into the green room. This lawsuit isn't just paperwork. It's a red flag to the broader media. Snark isn't shield. Mockery dressed as insight has consequences. Because in the end, it's not about who shouts the loudest. It's about who stands the firmest. And for once, the people who've made a living talking are the ones being asked to answer. So sure, meme the moment, laugh at the headlines. But beneath all the noise is a signal, a reckoning, sharp, strategic, and long in the making. The circus may still be open, but someone just served papers to the ringmaster.